So now we're live. Can you see us on Facebook?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Are we moving?
Yeah, we're moving.
Oh no, Facebook isn't moving though.
No, but that's moving.
Oh, that's the picture he posted.
That's
the
the
picture she posted. You got to get to the stream.
It's not a moving picture.
This tells you how this is going to go for the next hour.
It's going to go really well.
We're not going to be canceled before we get started.
No, that's the picture. Hold on, let me.
We got airtime right now.
You're on airtime right now.
Speak, Bert. Speak. Listen. Tell us how the march was from Gettysburg back to Richmond.
We shot more damn Yankees than you saw. We had bastards laying in the road deader than hell. It was a great time.
Okay, well,
Man,
I guess
Social Security number 1.
I guess it's time to start. All right, I need like 5 minutes to start real quick. All right, welcome everybody to the Tobacco Road podcast. We decided this week that we were going to have a special episode with some of our regular customers who have spent a lot of time out front of this building.
And a lot of money.
And a lot of money, yes, a lot of money. I wasn't going to say that, but I will acknowledge it for sure. I want to thank Geico and Geico Motorcycle for helping us fund this and for helping be a partner at the dealership as long as they have. Thank you very much, especially through everything that's going on right now out there with the pandemic. And I want to thank these guys for agreeing to come on camera live for one of our podcasts to talk about all things motorcycle. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know if this would happen because it's a little weird to sit here in front of a camera and talk to people out there watching in cyberspace, but they agreed to do it, and so far we've had a great time, and we haven't even started yet. So I figured what I would do is ultimately what we want to do is kind of talk about what has happened in everybody's life in terms of motorcycling. We did a quick count. There's well over 1 million miles of riding sitting in this room right now, and I lost track of the count of motorcycles because it's been a lot. And they literally spend time with us out here most days during the week. And every one of these guys is part of the dealership infrastructure here and have been for a long time. I'm grateful for it. And whether they believe it or not, there are people who are negotiating deals sometimes who get distracted and go, what's going on out there? What is happening out there? And they get a little distracted from the hard part of negotiating, and they end up buying a motorcycle. So they help make deals every day.
Oh, we don't get any cut on it, dude.
You don't get any cut, no.
Those people are probably wondering why all those homeless people are hanging around your building.
That is true. That is true.
We get free coffee when they make it.
When they make it.
I will tell you, they make some interesting decisions because Mike back here did one day trade in for a new bike and then decided he wanted to trade back in for his trade-in. So we did that in his heritage.
Well, I kept it a whole week, though.
He kept it a whole week, yes. So I want to remind you guys, this is live. So remember that. Thank you. I'd like to keep my sponsorship with Geico. And don't forget to pass the mic back there when it's time to talk.
Okay,
and I wanted to get going with some introductions. So who are this cast of characters who have been here as long as this has been a dealership, really? And for me personally, when I bought my first Harley, I bought it from a gentleman that will probably get mentioned today because he was in this group before he passed. Rick Levitt was his name, and I bought a V-Rod from him because he bought it and he hated it. So he told me how great of a bike it was, and I bought it and I hated it. That's how he sold it to me. But I didn't know who to ride with, so I decided one day I'd show up at the Harley store, and Shep and Bill were my first Harley motorcycle group ride ever. And it's just kind of surreal that we're sitting here right now like this. It's pretty cool, actually, because they've been around for a long, long time and helped keep the motorcycle culture going here in Raleigh. But let's start with some introductions. And I'd like to know what got you into riding when you introduce yourself, kind of what started it all for you. So why don't we start with Fields back here?
Well, when I was little, riding dirt bikes and mini bikes and stuff like that, that's really what got me into it. And I rode about everything except I didn't have a Harley till 2005. That was my first Harley
Yep. From
Right.
here.
from here.
Yeah.
And I think I bought 6 since then.
And how
From
many
here.
miles, if you had to guess, have you done?
I have no idea. 200,000 or so.
Easy. Yep. Yep. Pretty awesome. Mike.
Mike Meredith. I think what got me into riding in the beginning was the first bike I stole. And after that, I was hung on it. And then, of course, I stole my second one. Then years later, I got out on parole. And I've been riding ever since.
I can't follow that. I got into motorcycles when I got out of the Marine Corps, and I rode for 4 or 5 years, and I got married, had kids, and I got out of it for about 15 years. And then surprisingly, I actually won a Kawasaki Vulcan in a raffle. And I thought, well, I'll just trade it in on a Harley. So I came up here and dealt with Ray for a Sportster, and 26 bikes later, here I sit.
26. And every one is the last one. This is the last one, Mark.
yeah.
This is
I'm
the
done.
last one.
I'm done. I'm done.
Well, I'm Tony Jones, and I'm the baby of this crowd. I consider myself the runt of the litter. And I always tell people I come out of the womb riding dirt bikes and rode motocross up until I was probably 17. And then my mom was terrified of me riding dirt bikes, but she was really terrified of street bikes. So my first street bike came in 2013. And I've probably ridden over about 115,000 miles since then. So I think I've done pretty good.
Mhm. Keep it up there. Shep, you're up.
Oh, okay. My wife went down to Myrtle Beach with some of her friends and spent the week. And apparently, it fell during bike week. All I heard when she got home was Harley this and Harley that. I said, well, by
From your
God,
wife?
Yeah, I said, by God, I'm gonna get me one. So I did. So 30 bikes later, every time I buy one, she start bitching about it. I said, hey, no damn fault, stay at home, I'll be fine.
She's gonna be watching. Might be watching.
I figured I would be dead anyway.
You know he doesn't care. I mean, what? He has no.
I have no governor. That's what you call them, governors.
You have no governor.
Governors, that's right.
I'll agree.
Same way when I got my tattoo. Oh boy, and then hard Corvette.
Not even.
Silver Corvette.
Oh, no.
Give it a whole month.
Got the-
You're up, Dennis.
Anyway, I got hooked on motorcycles after my first accident. I borrowed a friend's bike, which I never rode a motorcycle before. This is back in 1965 or 6. I came around a corner and I lost it, and I hit a car and got stitches on my chin. I said, I like this.
Like pain.
So after, I guess I was married before I bought my first bike. Yeah. I've been hooked on them I love it. I don't know how many. I thought about counting the bikes I bought from here, but I'm not exactly sure. It could be 15.
And
I'm
bought
not
the-
sure.
You bought the first one
I bought the first bike that Ray Price sold here in this place.
in the late 70s.
Yeah.
It was a late 70s bike. It was early 80s.
It
when
was
you
a
bought the dealership.
76
Yeah.
Super Glide.
Yeah, back then those bikes were in the showroom years after.
They vibrated
model
your
year,
brains
yeah.
out. Yeah.
They used to put the
explains a
oil
lot.
pan. Bruce told me they used to put the oil pans
They
under
did
them
leak oil.
at night, so they
Oh,
wouldn't have to
It
clean
was
the
a
showroom
shovel
floor.
head. Yeah, it was a shovel head. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for doing this.
Certainly.
I think that our customers and our friends will enjoy some of the stories that are going to come up, and I think we should just go right into some of the stories because we've been talking about them already. And I mean, some of them I've heard before because we have fellowship out front in the dealership, but some of them I haven't, and they're actually pretty hilarious. But obviously, you guys ride together on a lot of rides. And one question that I'm curious of, and I'm going to ask it to the group so anybody can answer, but I want to know the sketchiest place you ever had to stop, whether you were breaking down or running out of gas or whatever, where if you had any other choice, you wouldn't have stopped.
I don't know about a sketchy place to stop. but Dennis and Rick shared a room up in DC one year, and they got a call. It was a sketchy hotel, and I have to admit, I was the one that picked the
It was
hotel.
a dump.
But anyway, they get a call from the night clerk saying, "Don't open your door. Don't open your door."
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And there's a big snake out there. So they look out the window,
This
and
is
here's
in
the desk
DC.
clerk with an angle iron beating the snake to death. But their hotel was so bad that there was about probably 3 inches under the bottom of the
Yeah,
door.
You could see daylight.
You that snake could
He
have
would have
been
come right in.
right in there visiting with him.
And my bed was closer to the door too. I should have switched with Rick.
I imagine Rick Levitt would have probably had some kind of weapon on him to kill it if it got in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was shocked.
He was afraid.
I think he was.
Well, yeah, nobody was really carrying weapons in
I,
DC.
I guess
No,
that's
he
true. Yeah.
Snakes are scary when you get close to you like that. You can't go.
Yeah.
I think the sketchiest place I ever stopped was Lizard Lick, and then Garner, and
No offense to people in Lizard
no,
Lake.
no offense to you people. I mean, I love lizards.
We're perfectly sober.
Let's do something
No.
about that.
No, I could never ride a bike if I was sober. I don't know. We went on a lot of rides though, and then I have to say, honestly, all seriousness, it was Lizard Lick.
Same place the towing company's from that was on TV.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They picked my car up a couple of times.
Oh, I don't want to ask. How many miles have you think you've ridden in your lifetime, if you had to guess?
30. Oh, probably 100,000. And I probably pushed the bike about 20,000. So.
That's the part that the new riders don't understand and didn't get to live.
Yeah,
You know, what do you do when you're in Lizard Lake and the bike breaks down?
yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta tell you this. One bike I bought here, and I forget which one it has. I usually trade them in every 2 weeks. But I bought a bike, and I was all excited to ride it, and I made it down to the first red light, and I ran out of gas. They're supposed to fill it up for you.
Yeah, well, we're not perfect. How long ago was that? That
Oh.
was well before I got here.
10 years or 10 years or something. Yeah. Or you'd have filled it up. You'd have made sure the damn
That's
thing had
right.
gas.
That was my point.
Yeah. Anything to say?
No, not really.
What about your favorite ride, Fields, that you've ever done? The one that pops in your head first.
Well, that was the worst one.
The worst one, okay?
The worst one. I rode with a buddy of mine up to North Wilkesboro to the race,
Yeah.
and
I think she says questions.
he had bought a used bike
We got to
from
get
somebody, and we never made it to the race. I pushed him up there, and I pushed him back home. I'd get off the bike and I'd run back, push him up on, then I'd go back and get mine. It was the worst experience I've had with a motorcycle, and luckily it wasn't mine. It belonged to somebody else.
You just got to participate.
Yeah, I just got to participate.
We got a question?
They want to know their longest trip.
Oh, the longest trips. Okay, that's a good question.
Sturgis for me.
Sturgis, Shep,
I think it was Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
The factory or something up there.
Okay, to York.
Yeah.
What's your longest ride?
Probably up the Parkway and back in 3 days, about 892 miles.
Okay.
I hadn't made any far ones because I got a dad that's I
Yeah.
was looking after, so I hadn't been able to take a
Yep.
long one yet.
I did a Sturgis and then left Sturgis, went to Wyoming, and then turned around and came back. So Wyoming, I guess, would be the furthest.
Did you do an iron butt ride?
I did not.
No.
I went to Sturgis in 2 days one time.
Yeah.
that was
So I rode 980 miles the first day, and a little over 900 miles the second day. I will never, ever do that again.
See, I put a lot of miles on my bike, even though I rode 100,000 miles, because I live about 30 miles from here. But it's on a motorcycle, it's about 120 miles here and about 140 miles back
Because
home.
you take your time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
why you put
I get that.
Lizard lick.
Oh, Alaska by way
Alaska.
of Lizard Lick.
You've been to all 50 states, right?
I have. I've ridden the bike I bought in 2005. I rode to all 49 states and Mexico and Canada. And my wife and I went to Hawaii and I rented a Harley over there
Yeah, which
and
counts,
rode.
in my
So
opinion.
that gave me 50.
Yeah.
All 50 states.
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty awesome.
Do you want to know how many cigars have been smoked out on the bench?
How many cigars have been smoked on the bench?
Oh,
I don't even know if we could.
you can't even, you figure like 7 a day for 30 years. I can't figure.
There's a tractor trailer load pulls up out here about once a month.
Yeah.
I need a conveyor belt from JR's.
Mike's the only thing keeping Cuba in business.
And JR sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that don't smoke.
No.
man.
Well, no, Phil.
Well, technically, you all smoke because you smell it from each other.
Alex would like to know what the craziest thing you ever seen or experienced over the years at Ray Price Tobacco Road was.
A gunfight.
At
Yes,
the
a
dealership.
gunfight.
A
Oh,
gunfight.
It was close to
It
a
was
gunfight.
crazy.
It was
Yeah,
almost a
right across from
gunfight.
It was
Standing there
it was
going,
crazy.
Wait a minute. This was
that was with what's the name that passed?
You
this
remember-
was Mario.
Mario.
and Grillo.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yes, you do.
I said we need to get inside.
One of them got arrested.
Yes, put in jail. I think one of them. Well,
Both
I
of them ended up being arrested.
They both got arrested. That's right. For brandishing firearms.
was
I
standing
remember
direct
that.
line between them behind one of them.
Two little guys.
But that's the only time that's ever happened here.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
Everybody,
yeah,
that
yeah.
it's,
That's what I
it's a
know.
perfectly safe spot.
And actually, one's dead and the other one we think is in jail, so it won't happen
It
again.
won't happen again.
Except for Mike's threatened to shoot a guy and told me let him shoot the caliber. The caliber he had was caliber gun to use.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
you know
I
that
give him a choice.
Yeah,
you know,
nice
come on.
guy.
the old guy that
Nice
used to
guy.
come and steal the cigars out
Oh,
of the
yes.
ashtray.
Oh, yes.
Mike told him if he didn't stop, he was going to shoot him in the toe, but he could pick the caliber.
Well, I have a funny story on that where we had to let a salesman go, unfortunately, and he was not happy with that, and he got a little upset. And one morning, I'm driving my truck to work, and I remember I got a phone call, frantic phone call that said, "Mark, so and so is standing across the sidewalk. We had trespassed him." And he said, "Mark, there's so and so standing across the sidewalk, and he's yelling that he's gonna kill you." And I thought, "Oh man, what am I gonna do now?" And my first thought was, 3-gun Mike's got to be there by now. So as long as he's standing out front, I'm just gonna park my truck and walk right in like nothing's happened. Because if anything happens, I'll be okay. Anything else crazy?
Don't try this at home.
You know, I get
Pass the mic.
talking to Mike. This is kind of, if you all know Gary,
Gary Goldstein.
and
Oh God.
I've heard these stories about him, and I love you, Gary. And I heard the stories about him driving, but I was almost beside him one time riding the bike, and I looked over, and his eyes were closed.
That is true.
I always I heard those stories.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was just back off and took the next exit. But he had his eyes closed.
You know, to that story, he was on a hog ride one time, and he actually fell asleep. He went off the road, down in a ditch, up in a guy's driveway, came out the driveway, got back in line, and kept going down the road.
Yeah, I did the same thing one time too. I was following a girl and we were on the way, well, somewhere, and she fell asleep. But I didn't know it at the time. She kept crossing the line, and she would come back over. She would cross the line. She'd come back over. We stopped for gas, and I kind of looked at her, and she said, "I fell asleep twice back there." I said, you know, you can't do that on a motorcycle. I said, you better pull over and drink you a Monster or a Red Bull or something. Oh, I can't drink that stuff. I said, well, you better go siphon some coffee or something.
Another question?
We do. Let's see. What did you think when the tornado turned away from Tobacco Road and then went straight to Shaw?
The
What?
tornado.
What was it?
When the tornado hit here.
Which one?
Yeah, well, the one that tore the premise, it was like 2011.
The
I
neighborhood
think.
down.
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
a day of,
tore-
it was an open house day
It was an
too.
open house day. Yeah.
I can remember we were back in the service department. They had the big fans in the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the guys was working on a bike, and it came.
The fan came into the building. Yeah, that was a disaster. What was the pinstriper's name that used to come here all the time?
Oh,
yeah.
Wild Bill.
Wild
Yeah.
Bill.
Wild Bill.
He had his RV out there, and it ripped the roof off or something. That was wild.
The damage down the street. I mean, it was like a miracle. It got about to the tire place and then turned.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about with the question. That could have been horrible. There was, I don't know how many people here for the open house. And then Dave Hushik at the time decided to have the T-shirts made to make money that said we survived the hurricane at
I think
Ray
I may
Price
have
Early.
one of those in my closet at home.
Any other questions?
Autumn would like to know who your favorite Tobacco Road employee is.
Your favorite Tobacco Road employee?
Present or past?
I think
Your choice.
I think period.
The song says all the girls.
And the Price family we already know, so you have to pick someone other than them.
All the girls.
I like them all, but I'm a Sam fan now. Sam's my man
Sam.
because
Yes.
I don't care day in, day out. He is what he is. He's never got a bad expression on his face, and Sam's my man. And plus, Sam helped me find my last motorcycle within like 3 days. So
Yep.
Sam's the man.
He is. He never has a bad day. Yep.
Dennis is going to fall out of the chair when I say this. Jay Williams.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you who haven't been here long, Jay was
He was
he was everything. He was the sales.
Okay,
He was the sales manager, the salesman, the
finance
F&I guy.
Yeah,
He did it all, but he carried the little black
a
book,
little book. I hated that.
and he
book.
would put your name in the book when you said you wanted to buy a motorcycle.
And move it around.
And then he would say, "You
That was
come."
his follow-up file.
Yeah, well,
where
and
am
you
I
come
at?
up to him and you say, "Where am I on?" Well, you're down here, and you know.
Yeah. You're 225 or something like that. Yeah,
That was
Yeah.
back when you had to wait for bikes,
Yeah.
and you were on a wait list.
That's
That's
right.
right. Yep.
And if he liked you, you miraculously moved up the list
Oh,
yeah,
quickly.
you
it
gotta
was
suck
one
up
of
to
those
him.
books. Oh, I see.
you had to suck up to him.
You patted his hand a little bit.
Well, they were
Yeah.
both Marines, so it was easier for him.
Remember the guy that used to work here? My favorite guy was, I can't remember his name, so he's from my favorite, right? Who is that?
Jeff,
Oh, Jeffrey.
Hey, Jeff.
he's your favorite.
Jeffrey's
employee,
my
obviously.
Jeffrey's my favorite because I remember him. I know I'm the oldest customer,
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Well, he's old.
and I'm not the oldest here though.
Yeah, you're old.
You're old as dirt. You're old as dirt.
I was telling him, Jeffrey, that how you would when you first started, you were washing bikes too for Ray.
Oh, yes. We did everything back then.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
That's back in the day. Yeah, take care.
So who were you talking about?
Who was that guy that you saw me my last bike up your field? So,
Which bike? The
used to
trike you
come
got?
out- Go and talk to us a whole lot out there.
Talking about Gus.
Gus.
Gus. Yeah.
He just bought a bike
Oh,
from
yeah,
Gus.
gosh.
Big party here that one Saturday. Big party. Gus
Mhm.
thought Mr. Gene was out of town. He goes there and starts doing wheelies on the road. Got caught in the office Monday morning. about
He
that.
got in some
Yeah,
trouble.
Yes,
Yes,
he
he
did. That was a funny thing.
Gus is a good guy.
If I'd known
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it if I'd known she was you, he says.
He sold a lot of bikes.
He did.
Yeah,
Sold
he
me a lot of bikes.
He sold me 2 or 3.
Yep. Mike, what about you?
I'll be serious for a change. My favorite person is Casey and Katie. One on each side of me would be fine. Thank you.
Why do I think you're serious?
Because he is.
That was.
I can't see her face, so I don't know if
You're good.
Go to Fields.
go to Fields. Your favorite.
My favorite salesman.
Yeah, I
Just
already.
employee
Employee.
in the whole time you've been coming here.
Probably Gus,
Gus.
because he sold me 2 or 3 motorcycles, and
Mhm.
he was always easy to get along with.
Yeah, and always working.
Always working.
Yeah, he
If
was
he wasn't-
always here.
If he wasn't talking to somebody in person, he was on the
He
phone
was
with
on
them.
the phone. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. I feel like, and I haven't seen him in a while, but I feel like he misses this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure what he's doing now, but
He's the house husband. I ran
I
into
think he's
him.
retired.
he's retired.
Yeah, I ran into him up in the gas station up
Yeah.
here. He was coming from the courthouse with his son.
Uh-oh.
I think there was a speeding ticket
Speeding
involved.
ticket. Yeah, his kids were starting to get older when he left here. So
You've got a question.
So he's got Geico insurance, right?
No, that's not. I was just gonna say I got to give a shout out to my boy Chris in parts too. Chris Andrews, he's good as gold too now.
yeah.
Like him too.
What is the biggest lie or story that's been told, and how long did it stay going on?
Oh, God.
Ooh.
By whom?
By you.
By the dealer or us?
It is not specific, but I'm gonna say y'all.
The biggest story that y'all have kept alive.
I'm done.
It's my last bike.
My
I
last
have to
bike, I'm
agree
done.
with
I'm
that.
done.
It's my last.
Yeah.
I don't know why nobody believes me
That
on that.
story's
Yeah,
been
I'm
going
done.
on for
That's
years.
When I say that, I really mean it.
That's why, never mind. I won't talk about what we're doing Saturday or Friday.
I feel like multiple guys here have bought their old bikes back.
I have.
Well, Mike trades every time he needs the oil change, so he saves him $300 or $400 from having to pay to get the oil change. Because
Right.
just trade bikes.
Yeah, this was Bird's fault that I had a 2005 Dyna Wide Glide that I spent a lot of money
I
on that bike.
remember it.
It had a custom paint job and everything. And I traded it in, and I had bought a 2009, and he comes out of the service department and says, "They got your old bike back in there. You ought to go back and look at it."
So his eyes glaze over.
And I bought it.
He bought it back.
If he hadn't, I would have. I
Yeah,
loved that
I don't doubt
I
it.
had that bike at my house that night. They had bought it.
I wish you told me that. I would have let you buy it.
When I met you, had a similar bike. That maroon one.
Oh, Barney, the
Yeah.
purple
Oh,
one.
the soft tail.
Mm-hmm.
I had a red soft tail custom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
He had a purple soft
It
tail
had
custom.
more chrome. The red Softail had a lot of more chrome on it than I've ever seen in my life.
I
when
could
I
paste
met
the
you.
dollar bills on that damn bike. It
Yeah.
would have been that
I
expensive.
remember
my
that. I
God.
remember thinking, God, how much money has he spent?
Well, he had a purple he had a purple soft tail custom, and we were riding one day, and Rick bungeed a Barney stuffed
Still got that doll.
doll on his luggage rack. He gets on the bike and rides away. We get to the first stop. He's in a panic. I took the wrong bike. I took the wrong bike.
About 30 minutes, about 30 seconds, it was that way. I looked around and see where I was. Looked the rest of the bike, see if this is my bike, this is my bike.
Did you actually take off on it?
We rode down around the corner of this street down here, this dealer down here. So we're out of more bikes down here. We got ready to leave. I walked down and looked at it. Looked at the bike after I'd been in the store for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Walked down and looked at it. There was the damn squirrel. Barney. the dinosaur. And it was a moment of panic for some reason. I don't know why.
Rick left him laying in the street out here in
Yeah,
front of the
he
dealership one day.
I heard that story.
I
too.
passed Rick and Chuck,
You can't say that, Bill.
and I said, "Where's Shep?" Because I was coming to the shop, and I get it. And I said, "How come you didn't go with Rick and Chuck?" He said, well, they left me laying in the street. When I pulled out and I made the turn, my bike shut off and I went over. And he said, Rick and Chuck just kept right on going down the road.
And I was getting on leaving the Harley dealer, payment from the Harley to get on the bike, trying to go up the road.
Yeah. So you had to pick it up and just came back to the shop and sat on the bench.
No,
Pretty
I took it to service until I wanted that damn carburetor fixed. They
What's
fixed it for me finally?
what's the one accessory you've had to buy over and over and over again when you trade?
Seats.
Seats.
Handlebars.
Interesting.
Handlebars.
Seats and
Well,
handlebars.
handlebars. He's never been happy with handlebars.
He's never been happy with a
handlebars.
seat
They're
either.
custom.
Then he changed the seats. The seats got to match the handlebars. If they don't, it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
It's all custom.
Matter of fact, you just bought a seat right off of one of our used bikes
Yes,
I
on
did.
Saturday.
I did, got it mounted too. Yep. And I tell Bill, I never did tell him this often, but I got my handlebars fixed, my seat fixed, everything's ready to go. So my handlebars broke.
They broke.
They didn't break. The
Yeah,
handlebars didn't
the-
break. It was
The
little-
throttle.
Oh, the throttle cable.
Yeah, it's working now.
But that's on your trike.
Yeah.
How many times you had the backrest rearranged?
Twice.
Uh-oh.
That's just twice.
Just that backrest twice.
Well, the backrest he's got today.
He had Jeremy change them at least 4 or 5 times that I know of. Had him to put it on the press in there and bend it.
Different bikes, different
Right.
backrests.
Different bikes. You don't have to explain. You don't have to justify
That's
it.
your story. You stick to it.
Sticking to it, buddy.
We got another question.
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm supposed to ask Shep about hiding a bike in Bill's garage.
Never happened. Never happened. That's the rumor Bill's tried to start a few times.
Ask Bill about his parts garage.
Well,
he's got a lot of
my
stuff.
shed. Well, luckily, I have already paid the $15 downstairs to hopefully get rid of a lot of the stuff in my shed. But he would have got away with that, hiding the bike in my garage, but he forgot about the insurance bill.
Oh no!
And it came to the house, and Brenda found it.
I didn't say nothing.
Bill, this is above my head. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You're sticking with
That's
your
your
story.
story. You're
It
sticking
never
with it,
happened.
too.
No, that didn't happen. I don't know what he's talking
Give
about.
me a dollar. Give me a dollar.
That
and
was
put me on retainer.
several years ago.
Give me a
several
dollar
years
and
ago.
put me on retainer, and I'll defend you.
You were concerned about Brenda seeing the bike. And Bill said,
Don't
"Keep
answer
it in
that.
my garage."
Don't answer that.
I'm going to go about the insurance bill.
Don't answer
Well, I don't know
that.
about
That's how you got caught.
I don't
Hey,
know.
don't answer that.
Got caught what?
Don't answer that.
Take the fifth on it.
Yeah,
took a
plead the
few-
fifth. Don't answer that.
It took a few weeks for Brenda to find his new truck, and the only way
that's
she
true.
found
Don't
out is
answer
because
that
he
either.
had different floor mats.
Or
Don't
my
answer
truck,
that
my
either.
truck.
You forgot about the floor mats.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't answer that.
You
either.
switched out the floor mats.
That happens.
Actually, my daughter ratted me out.
Well, I mean, it ain't conspicuous when you got new tags on the back either.
Listen, I'm going to tell on Julian, our finance manager, because he does the same thing. He traded bikes one time and said, listen, she'll never know. It's the same color. It's the same chrome and everything, but the air cleaner was different. And he missed it. And when he got home, she went right to the air cleaner and goes, this is different.
Oh my God.
That's a common occurrence, actually.
I actually, this is my ex-wife. I had a lowrider custom, black lowrider custom, that I traded in for a white police Road King. About a week and a half later, she said to me, "Did you get a new bike?" I said, "No, that's the one I've always had." She said, "Oh, okay."
Completely different color.
Different model, different color.
What else is floating around out there?
How old were you when you rode your first motorcycle, and how'd you get into it?
We went through the get into it already.
Yeah.
16
Well,
for me.
Yeah. 16,
54.
50. So you didn't ride till 54?
42 to 96, you tell me.
I actually come up here looking to buy a T-shirt and left with a motorcycle, and they gave me the T-shirt. So
Of course.
Yeah.
That sounded like a good deal for us.
yeah,
I was 20.
I don't know. I don't know. 16. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either. Should we call your mama and see if she knows?
No.
I don't remember how old I was when I started riding. Well, like what Tony said a while ago,
But young.
Yeah, he don't know.
Real young. so I don't know either. So, but my first Harley was in 2005. So I wrote a lot of other stuff before then.
Yeah. Mike, I got to know about the hat.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
How many hats do you have?
I got about, I don't know, 25 or 30.
About the same thing as people has.
Oh, I think it's a funny story. I was over at the hospital in Durham. I was walking down the aisle, and some guy come up behind me and said, "Excuse me, sir." And I turned around. He said, "I loved your last album." And I said, "No shit. Well, thank you very much." I said, if I had a pen, I'd give you an autograph. And I'm glad I didn't have a pen because I had no idea who he thought I was. So, but other than that, the three of us got hats around the same time, and I don't know who started it. But.
Well, the hats are definitely a thing.
Oh yeah. The crazier, the better.
How many guns?
We want to know what motorcycle do you regret trading the most? Or
Dennis talks about this motorcycle all the time.
My 96 Nostalgia was green and silver.
Mhm.
I don't know why I got rid of it. That's the only bike I really, really, really love.
But you got your jacket back?
A friend of mine gave not that jacket, not from that
I
bike.
don't matter. Doesn't matter. You got your jacket back.
Well, I like that jacket. And he gave it back to me. Things go around with us a lot. We pass stuff around.
What about you, Shep? Which bike do you regret trading?
Softail
The
custom.
Softail Custom with all the chrome.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful bike.
It was pretty. It was pretty real good too. I got tied up with one of the ultras cracked.
Mm-hmm. Tony?
You wake?
Oh, well, me? Well, being as I'm the runner to litter, I've only had 3 road bikes, but I've loved them all. But I like the one I got now. But I had a road glide before. But I love my Softail Heritage that I had before that. And if it ever shows up here, I might buy it back. So I don't know.
You go fall right in suit.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep my road glide.
We'll keep an eye open for it.
No, don't.
Oh yeah, we'll find
Don't let
it.
me
We'll
know.
find it for you.
It's in Cleveland. Don't let me know if it's.
What we need to do is find a VIN number. We'll find
It's
it.
in Cleveland. Don't let me know if it's.
Probably the bike I regret getting rid of the most is I had a 91 Lowrider Custom. I really liked that bike, and it was a good handling bike. And contrary to what Mr. Bird believes, I liked it more than I liked that Dyna Wide Glide.
Every time you buy it back.
You know, it's really funny. In all the bikes I've traded in here, the only bikes I have ever seen again, I had my 89 Sportster I saw once. That Dyna Wide Glide came back, and one of my trikes. After every other bike that I bought, traded in, and got sold from here, I never saw it again.
I saw a 2003 red Road King. I bought it here one time. That's the only one I've ever seen it come back. Out of 31.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mike, which one do you? I know which one you regretted because you bought it back.
Yeah, I bought a 17. Bought a 17. The 18s come out, and I had to have it, so I bought it. I kept it about a week, and I come back and got my 17 back. I mean, the 18 felt like I was riding on a little kid's tricycle or something. But yeah, it was probably the 17, but I got it back. So
Yeah. We all thought you were crazy that day.
I was crazy. I'm an idiot. What
We
I got?
thought you were kidding. No one would take you serious.
Oh no.
A lot of days we thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
That goes around all of us.
Well, I don't really have one that I've regretted getting rid of. I still got the one I like the best is a 05 Road King, and I'm still hanging on to that. So
Yeah. So you haven't got rid of the one you would regret,
right.
which seems like should be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Nick says Bill bought one of his old bikes back when it showed back up. Did you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
He did. I want to know how many guns are in this room.
How many guns are in the room, or
Don't
how,
answer that. Y'all give me $1, I'll represent you.
or how many guns does everyone own? That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's a good one.
Everybody knows.
There's guns you know about and guns you don't.
I got guns I never fired. The guns I know. I run across one.
He's
I
got
don't-
stuff he don't know where they're at.
Yeah, that's true. I've lost one too. Can't find
He
it.
lost one. Brenda hit it.
And I've got some I haven't fired, and I don't even know how many I've got. I got places that I would believe I've run across one once in a while. In case.
I
They're
don't.
all loaded.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't own any
Sell
guns.
it, bring it back
Yeah,
to
no,
me.
that's not, yeah.
I don't own any guns.
How
Me
many,
neither,
how many
by the way.
pipes do you own?
Probably 50.
I still smoke that pipe you gave me with the.
Probably
Yeah.
50.
I still smoke that. It's in the kitchen right now.
Yeah, I buy pipes instead of guns. I'm not like Bert.
Mike, how many do you own?
I don't know. Probably 12 or 13. What? 12 or 13 guns, and I carry 3 on me, and like a hand grenade down my shorts. And I think that's about all.
I think that suffices.
Where you keep your claymore?
Along with the hand grenade.
Any other questions?
I think we're good on questions right now. How'd you meet all of them? Right?
How did?
Road,
oh.
your first ride?
Yeah, how I met them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yep, we did earlier. My first Harley ride. And
But as a matter of fact, Mark and Rick sold me a Corvette before he was
yeah,
working in the motorcycle industry.
that's right. That's right. We were at the Chevy store. Yeah. Okay, so I have a good question because I've participated in some of these rides. Best food place that you rode to eat?
Well, you know, I told you I went on a search.
Yeah, you rode to
Yeah,
every
well-
hamburger place in the state.
No, with my, no, not every hamburger place. My first year I bought the bike, I rode to every Harley dealership,
Right,
and there was like 28
in the state.
in the state.
Yeah.
And my goal when I started was to go get a T-shirt and a poker chip from each one until I went to 4 in the same day and spent about $150 on 4 T-shirts. And I said, "Oh, I got to regroup." So I just started getting poker chips from the dealerships from then on. But the last 5 that I had left in North Carolina were up toward the mountains. And that's when we left on a Friday. And we went up through Burlington and caught Speedway, Harley-Davidson, and all those around Statesville. Went up into Cherokee and then went on the Blue Ridge Parkway, come back down. And Sunday we got back home. I got to 5 and we rode 892 miles. So that was a pretty good track. Then the second year is when I went on the search. That's when 2 years later, I went on the search for the best mom and pop hot dog hamburger joints in the state. And there's probably the top 5. I'm going to say probably Day Night in Bethel. Get their old fashioned cheeseburger. You got Johnson's in Siler City. You got a place called Chris's Drive-In, which I just went to not long ago in Siler City. It's good. You've got the Carolina Livestock.
The Stockyard.
Stockyard's pretty good.
Silent City.
If you go like on a Tuesday when they ain't selling the cattle,
Right.
and then got to give a shout out to Crickets, which is a place down home because you can get 3 hot dogs for they're like $1 a piece, and a cheeseburger's $1.75, and they're about as good as you'll get anywhere. But then you got Melvin's down in Elizabethtown. So
Right.
I just searched for the little, I'd rather have a little mom and pop one than these gourmet burgers. So I spent 100,000 miles hunting down T-shirts, poker chips, and hamburgers. As you can tell.
Now you guys got to give him a free hot dog and hamburger when he comes in to see you next time. Right, Tony?
I think she's got a question.
You got a question?
I do. What's the most embarrassing bike drop?
Ooh, good question.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. I've done all of them.
I can tell you mine. I dropped mine in the middle of the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh, was that on TV?
And I don't know. It was what happened. We used to kind of drop back and then race up. Well, when I slammed on the brakes, I was on one of the white arrows. The bike went down. I did a roll in the street, jerked the bike up, got back on, and said, "I meant to do that." Kept going.
I think for me, I was on a poker run with Al Haynes and Tom Davis, and we pulled into a gravel parking lot in Wendell, and I don't know why I didn't put my kickstand down. It fell over. They looked at me and just laughed. And then I tried to pick it up, and I couldn't, and I pulled a hamstring on my leg. And then they came over and finally helped me. Yeah, that was embarrassing. All drops were embarrassing.
I think mine was on Glenwood Avenue. It was apparently rush hour, and there was 6 lanes of traffic, and I was the first one. The light turned red. I pulled up to the light and forgot to put my feet down. And it was an ultra classic, and it just fell over.
Yeah.
Nobody got out to help me, so I just sat on. I sat on the bike until and it was a boy and his mother came to help me. Help me pick it up. Yeah. But after the first few times, it's not even embarrassing anymore. And certainly not after the first 10 or 15 times.
I was in front of the dealer when I was pulling the road and go that way.
That time they left you?
Yeah. Rick left me.
You also dropped it up in the mountain in Virginia too.
There were lots of drops. I don't talk about it.
They asked the most embarrassing.
Yeah.
Oh, you just did that in front of Bill, but I seen it.
I'm sure Bill made sure everybody saw it. Birds, you dropped your bike.
Bird, the all-time classic when you dropped your bike was when we pulled into that restaurant on the hog ride, and you went to put your foot down. Brenda was on the back of your Ultra, and all I heard over the radio was "Birds down, birds down." And I look in my mirror, and here's Brenda. He went down on the side of a hill into the parking lot, and Brenda's rolling down the hill.
That was the scariest for sure I ever
Yeah.
just got dropped back. That was scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, I guess the most embarrassing one is when I dropped it with my wife on the back, and that's kind of hard to explain, but it's yeah.
When it worked best for me, we were riding and started to go home. When she wanted to go by the store get a paper, and I stopped and standing holding her back, and I heard flop. She fell off and broke her wrist. Was embarrassing. It was okay.
These are some good ladies that have hung in there with y'all.
Yeah. Thank you, Mom.
Who tells the best stories?
Who tells the best stories? I don't know if I could pick one.
Yeah, probably Tony.
Tony talks the most.
Really?
I think Tony talks the longest.
We think Tony's trying to channel Jake.
Okay, that I would agree with.
Yeah.
Because Jake did talk.
He never stopped. I think
Never
he talked
stopped.
to
Why when I
himself.
walk up, everybody lays down on the floor. Don't look at me in the eye, dude.
Jake would grab me in the showroom, and I'd be on my way somewhere, and I was carrying papers, and I would say, "I gotta go." Okay, no problem. Well, what happened then is, and he just kept on going, and I could not leave.
Well, he did that out here. He got a Raleigh cop one day in the building, and the guy, I gotta go. and Jake followed him out to his car. Well, the guy made the mistake at rolling down his window.
Oh no.
Jake stuck his head in the car, and the guy's backing up, and Jake's walking beside the car with his head in the window.
Favorite destination to ride to?
Favorite destination.
I got two literally I like Beaufort
And Beaufort's a nice ride.
and I like that Little Washington.
Little Washington.
Yeah, those are my favorite too, I think.
Tell them about us going to Little Washington when it rained, Mike.
Oh shit. Yeah.
She like,
We were down to what was it, Surf City?
oh, Little Washington, she let it fall.
That's what I meant. Little Washington. And it wasn't raining at first, but we got to ride and I was behind Tony and it started raining. Most people would head for a shelter. Tony kept going back streets, making turns. I thought that was not a good time to tour the city. And he wouldn't stop. And I'm thinking, what in the hell is going on? And he keeps going and going. And I'm thinking, what the hell is he doing? And it turned out he didn't know where he was going either. So
Oh God, they won't know where to stop. So I trying to figure out somewhere we could pull over. Well, time we got back to the boardwalk down there at Little Washington, we were drenched. But Mike followed me the whole way, and I'm thinking he's cussing me out every breath.
really tempted to fire shot.
And when we finally got back to the boardwalk, it quit raining enough that I had a dry shirt on the bike. Mike didn't, but I took mine out and just wrung the water out of it. And we sit there for a while until it slowed down just enough that we thought, well, it ain't raining too hard now. We'll head home. And we left in the rain. But Mike followed me every time I turned, and I'm thinking, he is going to cuss me out when we get to where we're going.
You came real close to getting shot.
But we were in a dry building when we decided to leave. And I told Mike, you know, we ought to wait here for a few minutes. No, we're good.
Shep, favorite destination.
Home after a long day.
Home after a long day.
Absolutely.
I get that. Dennis?
I don't know. I've been all over North Carolina and South Carolina. I enjoy driving to Daytona. I like Daytona. You could do everything, see everything. The riding's not as good like Sturgis, but you could make it in a day. It's a fun place to go.
Yeah.
I like Daytona.
I do too.
My favorite one was the hog rally ride they had in 1999 in South Carolina.
South
National
Carolina Hog Rally.
Yeah, Daytona's a good ride during the day ride. You can get there in about 8 or 10 hours from here if you don't speed too much.
Right.
But that's a good. They got some good rides down there.
They do that stretch from Main Street to Rossmeyer's along the water.
Yes,
I love riding
beautiful.
that. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, you could ride all the way down to St. Aug on Highway 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Bill?
I guess I'm going to say short ride, probably Daytona, like everybody else. Long ride, probably the nicest long ride I ever made was going out to Utah and touring the national parks out there.
Okay. Yeah. We've got a store now in Zion National Forest. It's a beautiful area. Yep. And Sturgis. I love riding in Sturgis.
But I don't like riding home.
Right. To Sturgis is hard.
Two
But
is
once
fine.
you're there,
Coming home is a
Yeah,
nightmare.
the two and there are fine, but when I wake up that morning and have to come home, I think to myself,
Yeah.
I'm going to spend 3 days sitting on this motorcycle on the interstate.
And it usually rains too.
yeah, of course. That's Murphy's Law.
You know, to Mike's point about shooting somebody, I was coming home one year and we left the hotel in Custer and we rode the whole way across South Dakota, 300 and something miles in the rain. And this car passed us. And there was I could still picture it in my brain. There was a woman in the passenger seat with her bare feet up on the dashboard drinking coffee. And I said to the guy I was with, I said, this is why I don't carry a gun on the car, because I would have shot her.
What else? We got any other questions?
So there's what's the most memorable time at the dealership, but we already talked about a gunfight, so I don't know about that.
It's hard to top a gunfight for sure. But most memorable could also be something positive.
With this crew?
Positive. We're still here.
Every day right now is memorable.
We're still here with all our issues and surgeries. We're still here.
The most memorable for me would be the riding out west, see the Canyonlands and old Tucson where they made some Western movies and stuff like that. That was one of the best memorable rides I've been on.
Yeah. I agree. We recently rode the Valley of Fire, and that was awesome. It's like a different planet for that little time that you're in those rocks. So I love riding out there too.
We talked about laying one down, but how about almost crash? Scariest almost crash.
Scariest almost crash.
Use up the whole 30 minutes tonight. And I got 30 minutes worth of those for that.
There has to be one though that stands out.
No, actually, there's two. Because I went to get ultra airborne twice, 45 miles airborne, both tires at the same time, twice, 45 miles an hour. And that car pulled out in front of me, behind me, coming back from a ride. We were doing breakfast right here at this gas station.
Mhm.
Lady wanted some gas. She just pulled me. Bill says she missed me less than that much, and he was already locking his wheels up to keep from hitting the saw. Because she pulled beside me we were riding two up staggered, so it was a group ride. Went between me and the bike to my right. I mean, she could have missed us. I thought she'd had me. I can't never believe that happened.
Yeah.
That was the scariest I've ever been.
Nearest miss, Dennis, for you.
No, mine first was a miss. I didn't miss. I hit the car. I slid underneath it, hit the bumper, and got 3 stitches. My father was so mad.
Phil, how about you?
Mine was just very recently. We were on a ride about a month ago down to Annabelle's in Spivey's Corner.
Yeah.
Oh, that
And
guy passed him.
Yeah.
Oh,
We were coming down. We were on 2-lane road, and I had everybody in the line had their turn signals on,
right.
and I was just about to turn into the thing, and the guy passed us on the left doing 90 miles an hour.
Not even
I mean, he went.
wasn't even
No
a,
passing
couldn't have
zone.
been a second.
No passing zone.
He was like this, and the car was like that. It was like not even a second.
There was
If he
about
was
3
1
bikes
second
this
faster,
time.
he wouldn't be here.
Right.
Yeah, I thought they were that.
That was it.
I think that time I was scared for them because I thought they were going to turn. I saw the guy because I was toward the back. My scariest was I was on the way here one day and met a white work truck, and I know he had to be on the phone or something. And luckily, I was in the far right side of my lane, and probably a little bit more right of center, and looked up, and he was in my lane, left of center, and I had to jerk to the side of the road, and he missed me. I don't even know how he missed my highway peg. And usually I would turn around and go have a discussion with him, but time I pulled over and got the cleaning my underwear, and I thought maybe I might let him go this time, but he's a lucky fella. But that's the closest I come to it right there.
Mike, let me guess, it happened in Lizard Lick.
Oh, thanks for stealing my story. Actually, was going to my wife and I were going to Mule Days, and it's out that way. It's a 2-lane highway, and we were going real slow for some reason. The lady in front of me stopped for no reason. I had to swerve around her, and there was a dump truck coming towards me.
No.
So I went. No, wait a minute! I hit that truck. I don't know.
Feels it's got nothing.
He's got nothing.
He's a safe rider, unlike the
I
rest of
just
us.
probably the scariest I've been was I got hit by a deer,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the day of the earthquake,
Oh, yeah.
8 years ago. And that deer come out of nowhere and hit my motorcycle. If he'd hit me, I'd have been dead.
Right.
But he hit the motorcycle and he fell over dead. So
Right. Happened fast.
When we were going up to DC, we said this earlier, that we were all riding in the left lane. Bill was behind me. And where was Rick at? He was
all I remember is the two tractor trailers flipping.
and he was right next to a minivan and had a blowout, and they were like, you could see the faces. I looked over, seen their faces, and they were ready to slam on their brake or something. And I seen the tractor trailers behind them. There was two of them. So I gunned it, and next thing I know, I'm doing 100 miles an hour, and I seen the semis turn sideways.
Oof.
They ran off the road.
Yeah. Had nowhere to go.
And that highway was closed all day. We
were
found
coming-
that out on the way back.
Yeah, we were coming home. We found out there were a couple of people killed in the wreck.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Because we were doing 70, 75.
not me, I was below the speed limit.
Sure.
Don't answer that.
I'm done.
What's your favorite event that you look forward to at the dealership every year? And maybe not bikini bike wash.
Word, hey, she's a smart gal.
She's
No,
a
it's be
smart
that.
gal.
They did that?
Anything that involves food.
Yeah.
Anything that involves food.
That you don't have to pay for.
And they're getting scarcer every day, aren't they?
As we joke among ourselves, we're a group of bottom feeders.
Yeah.
All you got to do is mention food, and we're
We
Right
are-
there.
We are bottom feeders. And I know I'm cheap. Bill Fields could explain that,
Yeah.
but I'm cheap.
You want to give them the background on that one?
Who? Me?
No,
No.
I'm
I'm-
giving.
I don't
Dave
remember.
Fields the
He's
mic.
got the mic now.
I don't remember exactly where we were.
we were at
Cabela's.
Cabela's.
Cabela's. That's correct. We was at Cabela's, and they had T-shirts on sale for $5. And he went through the T-shirts and he picked out one he liked. And when he got up to the cashier, he said, "Do I get my military discount?" You know, a $5 T-shirt. They got 25% discount. So
He negotiates for bikes the same way. That's all the questions?
For right now.
And
We-
obviously,
we've also been
bike
talking
fit,
for an hour.
bike fit.
We've been
An
talking
hour.
for an hour.
We were?
We have.
Wow.
Yes.
Are we
So-
still on the air?
We're still on the air. That's my alarm. Sorry. I set a timer just in case so that the battery doesn't die.
Well, we got a hat. We got the debut too.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Mike brought this hat and said, if you want to fit in tonight, the podcast, I brought you one.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a
you can
cowboy,
mind.
but I'm going to wear it to finish out the podcast. So thank you very much. You got a big head like mine.
If you let your hair down with that thing, you could go anywhere in the world, nobody know you.
That's right. I chose to not put the hair down today.
Well, it's not so much that he has a
Yeah,
big
me
head,
too.
but he always wears a bandana under his
He
hats.
does. Yeah. This one is one size fits all, though. It fits kind
Yeah.
of good. All right. Well, thank you very much,
All right.
guys. That was a lot of fun.
It's
We
fun.
enjoyed it.
Autographs on Thursday upon request.
Autographs on Thursday upon request.
Ride
Favorite
this,
event: bikini bike wash with food. Got it.
Could we eat the rest of that shit?
Yes, there's free food. You can't see the free food off camera, but there's free food here, so that makes this a good event. And I want to thank Geico before we get off the air again for your help and for being a supporter for us here through everything. And thank you very much to Casey for helping put this podcast together.
Oh,
No problem.
She learned how to use the mixing board today,
Casey, my buddy.
so hopefully it sounded nice. And obviously, she is one of Mike's favorite employees. But
Yes,
moving
she
on,
is.
so
Damn right.
I want to remind everybody we're going to start doing podcasts the first and third Monday at 8:00. We started a little early today, so everyone can get to bed at a decent time. But
I got an hour before I go.
but moving forward, they're going to start at 8. And I'm really excited about the guest list that's developed since we've announced that we were going to do them in this format. Thank you to Casey for helping with our new studio. It worked out pretty good. Yeah. So she set all that up as well. And I guess till next time.
If you want more of this, you're gonna have to join in. Bring your friend.